Hello. It is a wonderful Sunday evening in this July. Wonderful summer we're having, aren't we? So let's get down to business. Today I brought you all here so that we may discuss our current security levels. We've had some problems with some recent discoveries. Things that we should not have discovered. Perhaps the general populace of man is just simply not ready for. Therefore, we must secure, detain, and protect. So what's up, guys? I need to get some actual music on. Some music that'll actually, won't end every 2.5 minutes. Let's go to my favorite music source, which is Coag. How's it sound? Sounds pretty good. It's on throughout. Yeah, okay, I'll play this one. Put on low. Just can turn the desktop audio up a little bit. Turn my mic up a tad. There. That seems like it should be okay. Let's take moments to get ready. All right. Let's get you guys over here so you can see. There we go. Today we're reading from the SCP Wiki. We've been kind of doing this on Sunday streams. A little bit extra than I do. A little extra stream I do on the week, whenever I feel like it. These are fun, and I get to learn a lot. It's also very creatively provoking as well. Especially for whenever I have my Monday D&D games, my Tuesday D&D games. Helps me get those creative juices flowing, you know? It's very nice. So let's see here. Alright. So, let me get this up too. Going to... Alright. So to start us off, I'm just going to pick a random one. Since there's no one here to suggest me any SCPs. Yep. So I'll pick a random one. SCP. Random SCP. Interesting. Fuck is this? SCP-5737. Note, the following document is provided for informational purposes only, as no containment protocols have been put into place for SCP-5737. Historically, 5737 has been summoned as assumed... Oh, wait. My bad. I forgot to loop. There we go. Loop. Got to loot my music. Amateur. Amateur play. Been assumed non-anomalous due to its near universal presence in humans, and I expect that many will conclude this document with that belief still firmly in place. As the description below addresses an issue of significant personal value to many, discretion is advised when reading. Dr. Copeland, head researcher for SCP-5737. Object Class Explained. Special Containment Procedures. Because of the extensive period of time elapsed between SCP-5737's occurrence and the present day, as well as the unacceptable risk of any method of ongoing containment causing an MK-class end-of-human consciousness scenario, SCP-5737 is functionally uncontainable. Containment efforts are to focus on minimizing the effects of SCP-5737's expression among extant human cultures via the promotion of humanistic politics and maintenance of containment procedures associated with identified groups of interest. The existence of 5737 is to be confirmed only to Level 4 and higher Foundation researchers. Individuals without Level 4 clearance who become aware of SCP-5737 are to receive targeted amnesticization. Amnesticization, I guess would be the word. Description. It is a hypothetical, ontological shift, presumptively dated at the Ediacaran. What is this? What does this word mean? Ediacaran. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Geological period that spans 96 million years from the end of the... Okay. It's coincided with rapid retreat of ice sheets and glaciers associated with Marinoan or Varangian-Marinoan glaciation, which began near the end of the Cryogenian period. Okay, it sounds like when ice was melting. Time at which ice was melting on the planet. Okay. That affected the ancestral Nephrosium. The clade Nephrosia encompasses all animals with a true colon, digestive tract, excretory organs, and nerve cords. Okay. And all descendant lineages. The suite of physiological characters resulting from 5737 permit the emergence of a set of qualia, commonly described as spiritual religious experiences. As spiritual or spiritual-like practices have been observed in both protostome and deuterostome lineages, the influence of 5737 is presumed plesiomorphic. Plesiomorphic characters are ancestral within a group of organisms, in contrast with apomorphic characters, which are more recent changes away from his ancestral state. This is a lot of big fucking words I don't understand. And lineages in which spiritual-like practices are not present are hypothesized to have secondarily lost its influence. Due to the extremely widespread expression of 5737 across bilateral taxa and its universal expression across human cultures. What the fuck does that word mean? Bilateria. Are animals with bilateral symmetry? Is an embryo found? Okay. Okay. Interesting. Dude, I am learning so much. Across human cultures, several non-anomalous theories have been developed by civilian organizations as to the origin of its effects. These theories include 5737 promoting special social bonding and group cohesiveness, serving as a motivating force for the acquisition of resources and territory in early hominids, and being an emergent property at a certain level of cognitive development, conferring no significant fitness benefits. However, the development by the Foundation of the Hume and Akiva scales has allowed accurate analysis of metaphysiological changes in organisms expressing 5737 dependent behavior, which permitted its anomalous nature to be determined. So what the fuck is this? Is it have to do with, like, religious behavior? Is it faith? This is weird. Human susceptibility to 5737 expression follows a normal distribution, with approximately 15% of the human population considered abnormally prone to spiritual experiences and approximately 10% considered abnormally resistant. Cultural factors explain more than half of this variation. Additionally, individuals diagnosed with or who meet the criteria for autism spectrum disorder have a significantly higher likelihood of being resistant to 5737's effects than the general population. Hey, Reaper, what's up? I figured I'd be seeing you here. And we're reading about 5737. I've yet to figure out what the fuck it is. Research in the heritability of 5737 susceptibility has proven inconclusive due to heavy confounding from upbringing and culture. How are you doing, Rupert? In humans, 5737 displays a mild anti-mimetic quality. Individuals frequently express an inability to accurately describe the qualia produced by 5737. Despite this, a number of indices have been developed both by the Foundation and by civilian organizations to estimate the degree of 5737 expression in any given individual. Measuring spirituality as a universal human experience, a review of spirituality questionnaires. It's hot? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I'm glad it's nighttime, so it's cooled off a bit. I've been sleeping during the day. Variability is also observed in emotional response to 5737. While a majority of people display no marked emotional response to the possibility of spiritual experience, the remaining 40% are evenly divided between individuals expressing openness and optimism regarding the possibility, and those who claim such an experience has or would be significantly distressing for them. Typical methods of inducing spiritual experiences include the use of psychoactive substances, repetitive movements, and the recitation of creeds or songs, although spontaneous ones are also commonly reported. The presentation of 5737 has been most extensively studied in Homo sapiens. However, ethological, paleoanthropological, and paleontological research, what the fuck, say that 10 times fast, has revealed that it presents in similar ways in other species. The following table provides a generalized overview of major taxonomic groups in which evidence is present either behaviorally or physically. For more information, please see document blah, 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 blah. Okay. About validity of ethology and behavioral markers for high penetrance. Okay. Homo sapiens. Religious and spiritual behavior in modern humans has been extensively documented. Approximately 93% of the current human population confesses some degree of religious or spiritual belief. Among the remaining 7% of the majority also report at least one non-contextualized experience that aligns with sensations typical of the 5737. I think these numbers are pretty skewed nowadays. The recreational or ritual use of entheogens. What does this word mean? Entheogen. A chemical substance, typically of plant origin, that is ingested to produce a non-ordinary state of consciousness for religious or spiritual purposes. Oh. Ayahuasca, peyote, psilocybin, morning glories. Interesting. So, psychoactive drugs. You want to feel sadness? I know an SCP for you. I feel sadness all the time, Reaper. So I'm sure it'll be no big deal. Yeah, go ahead and suggest me one, and I'll read it after this one. You are free to do so. Across diverse human cultures, even those with notable negative side effects, provides further evidence of the social significance placed upon expressions. Okay. 1762. All right. I'll look that up after this. Pan-troglodytes. Ritual behavior is also well documented in chimpanzee societies. The emotion-like states, symbolic information transmission, and metacognitive behavior that are permissive of 5737 expression are extensively evidenced. Pre-death and post-death care, as well as deliberate post-death silence, controlled vocalization, and observation of corpses, indicate the presence of death culture. Ritualized behaviors indicating respect and awe are also frequently directed towards water. At the onset of heavy rains, a rain dance performed involving rhythmic movements. Repeated behaviors are controlled vocalization matching religious rites of Homo sapiens. Individualistic spiritual experiences are induced and expressed by behavioral displays and continuous observation, resembling obeisance, directed towards waterfalls and stream beds. These forms of pious expression are both individualized and normative, illustrating the qualitative nature of 5737 expression. Neanderthalensis is one of the best-known examples of non-human expression, both among the Foundation and the civilian population. Deliberate burial of the corpses of conspecifics, as well as the provision of grave goods, provide evidence a well-developed death culture. In particular, the inclusion among these grave goods the bones of other animals and stone and bone items, unusable as tools, indicates that the metaphysical nature of these things was valued above the physical. Mourning behavior in African elephants have been extensively documented. I can't fucking read it. And individuals have been observed burying the corpses of deceased members of their kin groups, as well as occasionally unrelated animals, including buffalo, cows, and humans. Some have been reported to observe the cycles of the moon, bathing preferentially upon the full moon and performing behaviors resembling obeisance, including the waving of branches and focused observation in the direction of a waxing moon. As 5737 dependent behaviors act as a positive stimulus, inducing or intensifying its expression in other individuals, the conviction with which multiple human subcultures believe African elephants are fully capable of religious and spiritual behavior serves as an additional indicator of its expression in this genus. I'm still not 100% sure what this SCP is supposed to be about. Anthropoda. Cognition in arthropods is variable, in part because different arthropod groups display dramatically different social structures. The most developed cognitive abilities seem to be within the Hymenoptera. Experimentation in Apis species illustrates the presence of the emotion-like states, symbolic information transmission, and metacognitive behavior that are permissive of SCP-5737 expression. There's also controversy as to whether recently translated writings from Pseudomyrmex faragina, author of the Acacia Seeds, illustrate thought processes dependent on 5737. What SCP is this again? 5737. I don't know exactly what it is. Or simply superficially similar. To date, full expression of 5737 has only been observed in arthropod species or races that are themselves anomalous. 4067. Okay, here we go. In primary investigation, the 5737's influence on metazoan evolution and cultural development, the Horizon Initiative was contacted for consultation, with particular research efforts focused on the methodology by which they pursued the integration of themes from extant scriptures into a conceptually coherent whole as the Universal Texts Project. During discussions, Initiative Representative S. Yilmaz informed Foundation representatives Dr. T.I. Copeland that Foundation conjecture regarding 5737 would be useful in contextualizing certain artifacts which the initiative had contained in 99. Is this SCP religion? Like, I'm assuming it's some kind of spiritual belief? A Bariasian? Early Cretaceous spanning, okay. Paleontological dig site had retrieved multiple fossils that resemble deliberate engraving and embossing from a fluvial shale deposit, and had published images of the fossils and the supplementary data of their preliminary results. Initiative web crawlers identify a potential anomalous activity, and the fossils were taken in initiative custody to be interpreted. The fossils were determined to be casts of engravings that had originally been made in an unknown, but likely soft, substrate. With the aid of three-dimensional scanning and spatial rendering techniques and pattern analysis software, initiative linguists managed to reconstruct and presumptively translate the symbolic language used. The Foundation has been given limited access to Horizon Initiative servers to view these documents. Okay. Querying Dinosaur Gospel. History of the Redlands, Wanderings of Umberfoot, Hymn to the Turning Lights. Blue feathers, his crest at peak with teeth bared, roared, challenged the black and green scale, so that they might meet on the field in single combat and settle the matter of the honor of she who tears at furred ones. The battle would be by bone spear, riding upon their beaked beasts, until one lay slain and the matter of honor had been sealed, and the line could then continue by her eggs. And unwilling to be shamed, the black and green scale took up this challenge, and each departed for their own land, to return to the field in 3 days' time. On the third day, Blue Feathers returned with his company to the field, and they were 82 strong. Unknown, okay. Their crests they had adorned with the red earth, and their claws of the same. Wait, is this dinosaurs? Like intelligent dinosaurs? Wait a minute. And thus arrayed, Blue Feathers took up his weapon and bestrode his mount. His mount? What? Hold on. That can't be. They can't be dinosaurs, right? No way. Continued by her eggs. They're talking about eggs. Hold on a second. Then did the host of the black and green scale come up, and they were even greater, numbering 103, and they too had donned their ceremonial coloration. Besides these, there was a great host that had come to observe, and blank and her company about her. Then did a captain of Blue Feathers look to the sky, and he spoke. I see the enduring light migrating low, and it draws nigh to the flank of the sacred mountain. Surely this is a good omen, and fortune shall favor you in this contest. He shall be delivered unto you. But Blue Feathers replied, Speak not of fortune or of omens to me, for does not one control his future by his own strength only, and take no heed of whatever else may be? And this day, at this point the text breaks off until a much later point in the narrative. Remaining verses may be found under query, History of the Redlands. In that place it had come to pass that a great landfall had occurred, and had blocked the flow of the river and contaminated the lower slopes with mud. Therefore Red Crest had departed from his burrows, and had journeyed into the east, seeking the great plains and the persistent river pools that were there. For he had been told that the lands was fertile, and gave forth many lizards and insects for food. But Umberfoot had no knowledge of this, and she ascended the mountain slope, and she made the call that was to summon him. But Red Crest came not. Thinking to herself that she had merely come upon a time when he was hunting, she settled herself down beneath the dark trees to wait. I can't read. But when the night fell, she perceived that he did not return. So she rose and journeyed 3 more days until she entered the hill country. In this place, the forest became thin, and the following 5 lines have been lost. What is that to us? They asked. So she continued on until she encountered a herd of the small gliding beasts, and they were hunting, upturning the vegetation with their feet, and their beaks drive out the insects and the scurrying creatures. And she asked of them, Do ye know the paths of this land? For they are unfamiliar to me. And yet here was I sent to seek the Holy One, who I have heard dwells far from here. And they answered, There are no holy ones that dwell within this land. Okay. The text here becomes uncertain. It appears that the small beasts attempt to convince her of the sanctity of a certain tree within their boundaries and demand tribute to it. But she departed and continued until the remainder of the text whilst you're absent. What the fuck? Okay. Hold on, I need some fucking nasal spray. Real quick. Give me one moment. Okay. I'm still so fucking confused on what this is about. Let us make joyful our exclamation unto you, of all beings most worthy thereof. You that bring all things to life, you that uphold the forests, we will celebrate you at the breaking of the day in all your many names. And at its ending we shall sing them again, for you are without fail, O ruling lights. Never in all memory have you ceased in your appearance, or refrained from arising at the proper time and season. You timekeepers, you commanders of the present and the future, unto you shall I cry honor, every day until the failing of my strength. For the splendor of your shine is above telling, O ye sky creatures, O ye heaven denizens. Who then can conceive of the reach of your necks, in the range of your territories? The land over which you roam extends from the uttermost rims of the world to its center, from the waters to the high deserts, and from the river to the swampland. All that tread upon and over them make obeisance to you. All set their voices up like steam at the sight of you. It should be noted that the behavior described here bears significant resemblance with the tendency of extant aves, to engage in crepuscular vocalization, known as the dawn chorus. Breaking of the day when day breaks? I guess. Sounds like they're worshiping the sun. Personal reflection of Dr. Copeland. View document. Okay, interesting. When the Foundation first assigned me to 5737, and when the data first began to link together into a coherent narrative, I have to admit I was not surprised. As I progressed in my research, I had been fearing, or hoping for, what felt like the inevitable approach of this day. That something would appear and prove to me beyond a shadow of a doubt that the ontological naturalists were right, and metaphysical belief is objectively false. It is an ages-old war. Is pure mechanism too cold and comfortless and inhuman? Is any sort of faith just self-delusion? It is clear why knowledge of 5737 was so restricted, even though it bears no unforeseen threat. Such a revelation would shake anybody to their core. So what are we, those with clearance to know this, to do? Ought we doubt any belief we hold that has not been supported by extensive, rigorous, double-blind scientific study? Are we to discount the experience of any feeling that does not have a currently available and strictly rational explanation? Are we to discount the experience of emotion at all? Emotion? Such a worldview, although highly conservative and prone to type 2 error, would serve as something of an inoculation against the effects of 5737. And yet it seems a miserable way to live. In consistent doubt of one's own ability to even perceive the world as it truly is. Regardless of understanding, I am not a theologian, nor an ethologist, nor even a psychologist. I am a paleontologist, and have always considered myself somewhat detached from such philosophical questions. After all, the past is unchangeable, and what we have access to is merely a hugely incomplete record of its physical processes. The mechanistic is the only view through which any kind of study is possible. Yet I can say with confidence that I am not among the resistant to SCP-5737. I have never professed a formal religion, but I have observed things that have taken away my breath, that I have felt myself unworthy to see. Escarpments with bedding spanning hundreds of millions of years, that felt like looking down on time itself. And acritarchs. What the fuck is this? What is an acritarch? Acritarchs are organic microfossils, known for approximately 1800 million years ago to the present. Microfossils. Fascinating. Okay. So perfectly and precisely formed at such a small scale that they seemed nearly impossible, things that seemed very similar, qualia-wise, the way my more religious colleagues speak of God. We, the Foundation, have since our inception been dedicated to the preservation of normalcy, as defined not in the mathematical sense, but by our own qualitative perceptions of the state of the world. Yet surely a truly scientific approach would make no claims as normality, as well as we can measure the anomalous and the non-anomalous exist with equal validity. The belief that there is a normal might not be supported by any other agency, and yet we are all willing to live and die in its name. I have heard that everyone worships something, and the only choice is what? Perhaps that is ours. I say this not to condemn nor to extol, merely to attempt to observe. What would the world have been like without 5737? How much of what we think, feel, and value can be attributed to this action? What traces has it left in our millions of years of history, and will it ever degrade? One thing every paleontologist knows with certainty is that his study cannot ever have control groups or replications, or an n greater than 1. There has only been one history, and evolution winds the clock forwards, but never winds it back. I may wonder what another world and another normalcy would have looked like, until the day I die, and receive no more clarity than I have now. I suppose I'll have to be content with that. You fucking kidding me? I guess it's like the mechanism of belief, spiritualism, like being able to like believe in a higher power or shit like that. Maybe it's simply just like the wonder. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to the table. Where is it? 6. 5737. What? Entheogen. When we learned entheogens was like fucking drugs. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Let's read 1762. I don't know what the fuck that was about. I'm still confused. Although I feel like I've learned a lot, but at the same time, nothing. Alright, 1762. I'm supposed to cry about this. Where the dragons went. I feel like I've heard about this one. I feel like if that is a very specific title, I think I've heard of that one. Okay. You want a spoiler for 1762? No. For the other one? Sure. For 5737? Sure. But if it's for this one, then no. Hold on to that. I want to read through all this. Then maybe you can give me your spoiler. Laconic description is an ontological shift that allowed the first humans to develop religions and mythologies. Oh, okay. Okay. So it is like humans develop, or like creatures developing religious and mythological shit. Okay. That makes sense. Thank you. All right. SCP-762. Object class. Safe. Neutralized, actually. Special containment procedures. SCP-1762-1 is held in a standard containment unit at Site Blank. During the periods when SCP-1762-1 releases, SCP-1762-2... Okay, hold on a second. During the periods when 1762-1 releases 1762-2, video logs are to be recorded for future research. Okay. Although instances of 1762-2 have been deemed harmless, they should not be allowed to exit their containment unit. 621 is a plain cardboard box that is 32 centimeters by 20 centimeters by 26 centimeters. It is spray painted silver on the interior and exterior, and the words, "Here be dragons," are handwritten in black permanent marker on the lid of the container. Opening the lid when it is not in the process of a release reveals it to be empty. The The box will infrequently open and initiate a release of SCP-1762-2. During this time, the box will briefly emit a large amount of black smoke that quickly dissipates. It takes an average of 20 seconds for SCP, I'm just going to say 2, for a 2 to emerge after the smoke clears. 2 is the collective term applied to the beings that emerge from 1. All instances of 2 bear resemblance to various types of dragons, in both Eastern and Western depictions, albeit in form similar to that of origami models. Analysis of 2 reveals that they are composed of kami paper. After exiting 1, instances of 2 will fly together in large groups and interact playfully with any nearby personnel and each other. 2 vary in length from 9 to 30 centimeters. All are capable of sustained flight once they exit 1, and have been recorded attaining speeds of 15 kilometers an hour. The number of 2 varies with each opening of 1, with numbers ranging from 50 to over 400. After approximately 2 to 3 hours of time spent outside of 1, all instances of 2 return and fly back into 1. During this time, 1 will once again begin emitting smoke, and instances of 2 will vanish after passing the rim of 1. 1 closes once all 2 have returned to it. The next date of release is inconsistent. A message, written or carved into a varying material, will sometimes materialize on top of 1's lid, once the box retrieves all instances of 2. Oh, I actually made it. Welcome, Crow. What's up? How you doing, man? They made it. Attempts to send a message or recording device back with 2 have provided negative results. These documents and their appropriate dates of appearance are being compiled and recorded. We're reading about where the dragons went, apparently. On blank, redacted date, SCP-17621 began to undergo a series of events that lasted 11 months and 28 days. These events, as well as prior accidents that led up to the beginning of the scenario, have now been classified under the title the Jabberwocky event. Jabberwocky, huh? There's a lot here. Okay. Okay. Documents 1. Let's see. It's the first recorded instance of 1 opening while contained at site blank. You have found us. Thank you. It has been so long since we last saw each other, friends. The peace has been upheld. The giants and behemoths have kept their word and have not caused any trouble since you last came and gave the order. We missed your company. How has your family been? Do you still know how to work your room? You're welcome to visit any time. Very tired. Truck stop is a unique kind of awful busy on Sundays. Oh god, dude. Sounds rough. Yeah, Sundays are just awful in general, like anywhere you work, it seems like. Document 2. It's strange to see how much your world has changed. It is even stranger to see how we now appear in this place. In fantasy, we're much bigger. Or maybe you've grown taller. Fantasy is still the same. We hope you can visit us like you used to. Though our room is as grand as ever. It appears yours has shrunken. We do not understand. The rooms were supposed to be maintained, as was our agreement. Please restore the belief. Only 20 instances of 2 appeared during this event. Said instances did not lift off and instead walked solely on foot for the whole period they were out of 1. Friends, we apologize for our few numbers. We've had to remain in fantasy for quite some time. The others are growing impatient. We are trying to keep the peace, but please, for all of our happiness, repair the room quickly. We know you are trying. Your family is the most imaginative of us all. I'm gonna hate this, aren't I? Along with 10 instances of 2 appearing, 3 balls of yellow crumpled construction paper were expelled from 1. These pieces were observed to shake violently for 5 seconds, then ceased all further movement. They were picked up by 2 and returned to 1. The giants were foolish. Your room was not ready to accept them yet. We're sorry, friends. We hope that we can still see you, but time is growing short for our happiness. 5 instances of 2 emerged, carrying said document. They immediately returned to 1 after depositing on the floor. Tensions are rising. Fantasy is becoming darker. We, the serpents and the hybrids, are furiously trying to hold them back, but the giants and elves wish to strike and make an entrance. They say that your family has grown stupid and ignorant. We hope this untrue. It would sadden us all greatly to know that you have forgotten. Hey, what's up, Holly? What's up, Speedy? We're reading about where the dragons went. Document 5. A single red instance of 2 emerged from 1. Its wings were torn and it was noticeably crumpled. It collapsed onto the floor 1 minute later. It did not move again. Upon its expiration, the body of 2 rapidly unfolded and revealed a message, written on the white side of the paper. What up, nerd? Yeah, we're reading. We're reading, dude. War. Goodbye, friends. Oh my god. 2 hours later, SCP-17621 opened and emitted flames that reached 2 meters in height and temperatures of 1700 degrees Celsius. Fuck. That's hot. Oh, that's hot. Sounds of distant roaring were heard from within 762, that's an ammunition. Within 17621. At 2000 hours, a large amount of torn paper pieces of paper balls were ejected from 1. Several damaged SCP-2 were also expelled and were deemed deceased upon examination. 1 continued to sporadically open and close for the next 6 weeks. During this time, it continued to emit fire as the amount of paper dischargement steadily decreased. Matter resembling muscle and tissue was continuously expelled from 17621 at increasing frequency. 17621 remained closed and inactive for the next 7 months. This document was discovered lying inside the interior of 1. It was written on parchment, and many of the words have been blurred or stained with blood. Are you still out there, friends? We miss you dearly. Fantasy is no longer safe. Our haven, your beautiful creation, is gone. The giants are dead. The centaurs have dead. The birds have fled. We are going to bury your room. We cannot risk hurting you. This is our goodbye. Maybe one day, your family can build another room. This may be a hollow hope, but we will cherish this thought. 1 hour later, 17621 began to shake and emit smoke for 15 minutes, after which it began to sag and collapse. Several portions of the box began to char and tear, creating small burn holes throughout. The words, "Here be dragons," on the lid of the box were burned away. This is the final message obtained from 1. It was written in ink on a papyrus scroll, and also depicted a scene of a painted mountainous landscape filled with large trees and waterfalls. A single winged dragon can be seen in the background. It appears to be flying away. The message is written in black ink in the bottom right-hand corner. Master says that we won't see you again. We are sad. So are the remaining others. We once filled each other's heads with dreams and goals. It is so sad that we cannot share them any longer. Master says we have to go. He says that he will make us a new fantasy. He says you cannot be a part of it. We are sad. We love you. We will not forget you. We are scared. Will you forget us? Upon removal of document 1762-18, salt water began to leak from 17621, and the burn marks that covered the container began to disappear. 3 minutes later, SCP-17621 had been restored to its original state. The words, "Here be dragons," were replaced with the words, "Here were dragons." The Jabberwocky event is declared concluded with this occurrence. Wow. Since the end of the Jabberwocky event, SCP-17621 has shown no further anomalous properties, has been declared neutralized. 17621 and 3 deceased instances of 17622 now reside in researcher Yoshihiro Takanaka's office for commemorative purposes. A sad fact is that the SCP Foundation could not do anything to help. All they could do was watch and wait. Yeah, this sounds fucked. After nearly 8 years of inactivity, researcher Takanaka reported 17621 began emitting purple smoke and spontaneously opened at 2300 hours, falling to the floor. It dislodged a single chunk of crystal, later identified as amethyst, and a large, leather-bound book. The context of this book appeared to detail various species that once lived within the world of 17622. Though from what the author has written, all organisms mentioned are likely extinct. This book is not classified as 1762 BOL1. The amethyst crystal had the following words carved into it. One last time. After falling, 17621 continuously emitted smoke for the next 40 minutes, before ceasing all activity. Upon trying to pick it up, Takanaka reported the box proceeded to disintegrate upon touching it. Its remains are now kept in a containment capsule in his office. Yikes. So what is this? Oh shit. You hold in your hands the paper keys, the keys that can unlock fantasy. When I first discovered this wondrous land, I could scarcely believe everything before me. The spiraling and floating mountains had reached so high that the rings of clouds were still below them. The great waterfalls that sprayed down from the ancient rivers that flowed through forests with trees, wise and full of knowledge. The oceans with their golden beaches and cool, lapping waves that never roared nor stormed. And the life within, such unique and wonderful creatures that walked through this fantastic world. It took years for me to gaze upon them all. Who knows? I may have had more to see. I can't see them anymore, though. The land is now barren and cold, so empty and sad that even the icy ridge that lines northern forests could offer more warmth. Everything has vanished, all the wonder gone, all the vibrant, amazing things this world once had to offer disappeared. I still wonder where they went. I doubt I will ever know. All I do know is that I have my books, my stories, and the memories that are already beginning to fade as I grow aged and alone in an old man's mind that still believes a long last fantasy may return. I don't think I'll live to see them come back, but I leave these stories to whomever finds them so that they can know that they did exist. What the fuck? Aloe Fox. There's a lot here. There is a lot here, dude. When dawn shines through the trees of the soft needle forest, you can find the Aloe Fox humming through the giant lilies for a morning meal. A beautiful two-headed bird, slightly larger than a full-grown man, with downy rainbow feathers that quiver ever so slightly as they run through the warm morning breeze. The Aloe Fox has 4 wings that are more akin to an insect's than a bird's, but they blend seamlessly with the back of the creature. They are jeweled and delicate, and they catch the early rays in such a way that they glint and shimmer. The Aloe Fox's head each sport a single large crest which changes color from one bird to the next. Their eyes are round and a deep purple, their beaks gold and slender, and their cries, the cry of an Aloe Fox, is sublime, a smooth, crisp, and echoing warble. The heads take turns as they call out, one rising, one falling, one rising, one falling. Aloe Fox eggs are pure whites until the chick comes close to hatching, during which they will turn vibrant shades of pink, green, blue, and gold. The chick is no larger than a hand, and like any other infant bird, naked and blind for weeks. The first coat of down is white as well, but as it grows older, colors will show through. Layer upon layer until a full array of hues coat the bird. I had the great privilege of seeing an Aloe Fox nest myself after many years of exploring the soft needle forest. Before, I had to rely on the records and drawings from the dragons. They are built in the ground, nearly as wide as a dinner table, interlaced with the branches of the thorny ivy to keep predators away from the chicks. The interior is matted with tufts from the downberry bushes. Indeed, the berries themselves are brought back to feed the young, too. Of course, I could only marvel a few precious minutes before the parents returned, and proceeded to fiercely chase me away for a good quarter of a mile before they turned back to their eggs. Nonetheless, I felt a great deal of happiness knowing I had witnessed such a rare sight with my own eyes. Okay. There's a lot here. Bumkles. Let's just look at what these things look like. What the fuck? That's a bumkle? Alright. Charm changers. Interesting. Drop-off dwellers. No picture this one. Huh. Skoberg Forest. Fire mains, gyro gliders, and there are no more pictures? What the fuck? Carafer door shards? Carafer door. Huh. Lightning struck Titan. This is all just crazy fantasy stuff. Monoliths to heaven. We'll see if there's anything about, like, the room in this. Note people. Oh, living music. Interesting. Ocean sippers. Big bird, okay. Polydames, among some of the most curious forms of life that lands to I have a reproduction 2 ways. Okay, so it's like a shapeshifter. A Corbler. Very, spirits. It's a Sunstealer. What the fuck, dude? Wow, okay. Watches the waning moon. Dude, there's so much. I'm gonna fucking bookmark this. I want to read this. I want to read all this now. Because there's a fucking lot here. I want to get to other SCPs. Reapers, any other good ones you know of that you want me to read? You tell me just do a random one. 128. The theoretical source of all anomalous behavior? I don't want to read about that. Fuck that, dude. I want to read another theoretical thing. What about 5403? The website. Okay, interesting. SCP-5403. Object class, well, it was Euclid, but now it's neutralized. Special containment procedures. SCP-5403 has been removed from all civilian databases. Foundation web crawler Alpha-03 Tycho is to monitor web traffic for 5403 relevant keywords. 5403's IP address has been rendered inaccessible by standard internet providers, with any unauthorized access redirecting users to the default front page for its hosting service. Efforts to disable 5403 entirely are ongoing. STF-Chi11, don't read. Okay. A stationary task force in Site-15, formed for the purposes of containing, documenting, and containing. Okay, got it. Are to execute weekly DDoS attacks on the address and continue to monitor its contents and report any unusual fluctuations in activity. Documentation with SCP-5403 is to be attempted when deemed necessary by Site-15 directors. If content posted on SCP-5403 is an information security risk, compromised researchers below Level 4 clearance are to be administered Class A amnestics and transferred to another team. Under no circumstances should STF-Chi-11 be disbanded. After review by the ethics community, members of STF-Chi-11 are permitted to request voluntary transfer after a minimum of 2 weeks. Description: 5403 is a website, inaccessible at the address www.redacted.com/redacted. My Foundation World. Interesting. Attempts at tracing the website's IP address have yielded invalid results. Evidence. A Berman Langford sleep agent submitted to the guest book section was removed after 6 minutes, suggesting that its primary effect failed to activate. Okay. Evidence suggests that an artificial intelligence or some other sapient non-biological entity is responsible for the site's content. Okay. 5403 has displayed the capacity to access comprehensive audio-visual surveillance of the Foundation through unknown means. The content of the site exclusively relates to observations derived from the surveillance. Okay. Despite the scope of 5403's surveillance capabilities, it does not demonstrate awareness of its classification and containment by the Foundation. 5403 is similar to a web blog in structure, including a guest book where visitors can post public messages. These messages may be responded to by 5403, deleted, or simply displayed without comment. The posts made on 5403 vary in content. The majority, approximately 85%, consist of commentary on current events relating to Foundation interests. Is this like a self-aware wiki article? Is this a self-aware wiki article? SCP-499 gets some peace? Okay, we'll do that one next. 5403 has not displayed the capacity to affect Foundation infrastructure directly, but appears to have a vested interest in breaches of containment. Commentary posted on 5403 is occasionally accompanied by photographic footage. Metadata analysis shows that these photos do not originate from Foundation surveillance infrastructure. The remainder of 5403's content is highly derivative in nature, generally presented in the format of a narrative. These narratives often depict Foundation personnel engaging in excessively dramatized and unprofessional behavior. Okay. There's 2 links here. Wow, this is massive. Okay, we're not reading this. All right, we're not reading that. It's too long. Since the formation of STF-Chi-11, 5403 has fixated almost exclusively on its members. Due to the high stress levels reported by STF-Chi-11 and other personnel made aware of 5403's nature, the ethics community has permitted staff referenced in this post to record personal notes regarding the mention in this documentation. The following is a log of excerpts from 543's posts, presented with commentary from the personnel discussed, if applicable. This... This is disgusting. This is a horrific. Welcome to my foundation. Hi, welcome to my corner of the web. I made this fan page to talk about SCP Foundation and how cool it is. I watch it every day and I think Dr. Bright is a total hottie. Nosebleeds. It's so obvious that he and Clef-sama are soulmates. Even if Bright-sama is a tsundere sometimes. Clef X Bright is so smexy. They're so kawaii together. This page is still under construction, but I'll post some smexy /fics soon. All your yaois belong to us. Haters, back off. I'm totally addicted to SCP. XDDDD. Bright Sama. Neko Bright. 6 minutes after the post above was uploaded, Foundation web crawlers isolated the address and automatically alerted Site 15 to a possible BK-class broken masquerade scenario. Due to the extremely high keyword density, Emergency World Wide Web Suppression Protocol, Alpha Calypto, was enacted successfully and no civilian information leak occurred. Following a 3-day period of study, it was determined that the event was an isolated phenomenon to the webpage. 5403 was then classified and issued its current containment procedures. A bright day. Oh. Just a cute uke. Bright and semi-clef thingy. This is /boyxboy. Don't read. I do not own the SCP Foundation. Please don't sue me. Clef chuckled, looking deeply into Dr. Bright's crimson-red orbs. What's wrong, Jack? He smirked. I don't know, the Shorter stated in reply. I've just never felt this way about another boy before. He blushed. Isn't our love forbidden? Clef smirked and chuckled. You're mine, Jack. He postulated, and then he leaned in and their lips met, tongues battling for dominance. Extraneous data retention. I was not expecting this. I was not expecting this. A fucking yaoi. A yaoi fanfic. No, commentary. If this is a prank, it's more sad than it's funny. And if it isn't, this is below my pay grade, Dr. Clef. Dr. Bright declined to comment, citing less creepy things to worry about. New team. A brand new task force. Oh my god, what the fuck? LOL. Barbecue. Commence the shipping. XD. Maybe Kami-sama will bless me with some fresh shipping meat. The leader lady looks super boring, but I bet she and the cute Megane researcher are secretly in love. OMG forbidden romance. Pushes them in closet. Now kiss. What the fuck? A little rascal. Oh, it's been approximately 2 hours after they began operations. Okay. Holy shit. This is so good. Commentary. I'd like to have it on record that I'm not interested in men, including my co-worker, researcher Harrison, who spent 20 minutes sweeping the room for cameras after we were cleared to leave. Cleared to leave. Senior researcher Laraski. Requesting that Dr. Nyota be transferred to STFG-11 to see how 543 will react to a pre-existing relationship. Okay. Laraski x Harrison. They held hands today. So kawaii. Photo redacted. All images of personnel have been redacted by request due to privacy concerns. Okay, so they were just passing a floppy disk between each other, but still, uber kawaii, I can dream. Their height difference is so cute, too. I'm jelly. I want him to sweep her off her feet like a knight in shining armor. I hope there's a containment breach so he can keep her safe and she'll fall in love with him for being a gentleman. Hee 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 hee. Just hurry up and smooch already. I want to say I'm not familiar with this kind of, like, writing before, but I don't have the leisure. No commentary. It just completely ignored her. Not even a passing mention of my girlfriend joining and sitting next to me for the entire workday. Maybe we need to start running tests on this thing, Dr. Laraski. Researcher Harrison was sent to work remotely from the rest of the STFG-11 in his office in an effort to discern the scope of 543 surveillance. Cute Megane boy isn't with his waifu today. Shake... Wait. SMTOE? What the fuck? I don't know what that means. He's in his office and he looks so sad and moey. Maybe it's because he got sick so she can make him soup. Photo redacted. Anyway, let me just post the cute Laraski x Harrison fic I wrote. Even though they're far apart, it can't stop the shipping. Star-crossed lovers. This is an AU where they're married. I know it's not canon yet, but I can dream. And fan wank. Extraneous data. This is fucking inane. Ship sunk. That ugly bitch Anais didn't even make him soup or check up on him or anything. Anais, that's her name. Needless to say, the ship is over. It was never going to be canon because she's boring anyway. He's way too hot for her. But I need to ship researcher Harrison with someone. He's too cute. Oh well, yaois make everything better. I bet he'd be cute with the ex-MTF guy. He's a total seme? My ship sails again. How much of this is there? There's a lot. Okay. Not that much. So ethics said we can comment on these for catharsis or something. So it'd help with the paranoia we're getting. Usually Dr. Laraski does this, but it seems like it's obsessed with me now. And she didn't want to comment on this one. I think it'd help more if we just didn't have to log these at all. Get a crawler to do it or something. Researcher Harrison. Denied. The information being dealt with here is too sensitive when we're still in the preliminary stages of studying this anomaly. Make no mistake, this is an extremely dangerous situation and it's best handled by experienced hands. Sugoi desu yaois. Oh god, my new ship is getting along so well. They work together every day. So kawaii I can hardly stand it. Dr. Harrison-chan even calls researcher Hoffman-sama by his first name. OMG, OMG, OMG. It's only a matter of time before the yaois. P.S. When are they going to figure out that SCP blank is obviously just a data expunged? P.P.S. Dr. Laraski should get the fuck out my OTP. My OTP. My one true pair is what that means. That is hilarious. Following the most recent post, further testing of SCP-543 has been ordered by Site Director Yeager. Chi-11 is to attempt to communicate with it directly via the guest book and log the results. Content input. Please inform on how you were able to discern the nature of SCP blank. Response, none. Submission was deleted. Notes, Dr. Lorasky suggested talking to it with its jargons, so I'll see if that changes anything. OMG, what the fuck? How did you figure out what blank was? It's super easy, IMO. No spoilers, but look closely. This is pointless. Researcher Harrison. This is so fucking hilarious. Trolls, get the fuck out. Some annoying trolling on my desk book. Unless it was the FBI or something, then get the fuck out. I said I don't own the SCP Foundation. F off, homophobes. You can't get rid of Yowie. Anyway, look how cute my OTP looks. Photo redacted. So kawaii. Harrison is my kawaii baby. I want to squish his cheeks. But for now, check out my new Harrison X Hoffman fic. Yes, I know I forgot about Researcher Hoffman's leg. Just pretend he grew it back because of an SCP or something. Actually, that's my new headcanon. During their tenure with the MT of Epsilon 11, Researcher Hoffman sustained critical injuries while on the line of duty. As a result of these injuries, her left leg was amputated at the knee during a live-agent operation. I want to push them into 3651 so they'll make out. That would make such a smexy lemon. Do I have to keep reading these? Can you please just put me back on transcribing interview logs or something? Researcher Hoffman. I'm sending this in the documentation for this thing back to ethics. Hoffman's been through enough. They shouldn't have to be put up with this shit. 6, okay. Containment procedures have been updated. You'll receive a reassignment memo in a day or two. Okay. Addendum 54033. Recurring psychological evaluation by members are not requesting transfer, which ordered after the ethics meeting evaluation. Interview logs. I love these. Okay, this is Dr. Glass and Dr. Lorasky. Both are silent for approximately half a minute. So, I'm not bailing. I was going to ask if you were bailing. How are you doing, Doctor? How do you think? Silence. Lorasky sighs. I'm not going to lie to you. We're all pretty fucked up, Simon. I understand it's stressful working with 503. Is that what they're calling it now? Stressful? Silence. Look, I know from the outside it must look like the stupidest possible situation for researchers to be dropping out like flies, but none of this shit is easy. None of us talk to each other anymore. But that doesn't make a damn difference to this thing. Nothing's scared. Nothing's sacred. Scared. Could you elaborate on what you mean by that? Found one of the junior provisional researchers crying at their workstation for the second time last night. After that thing about 2678, he'd seen the video, heard the logs, apparently. Used to be assigned to it. Poor kid nearly lost his lunch seeing it again. I told him to take the rest of the day off. Which one's 2678? That's kind of you. It's humane, is what it is. That's how people are supposed to treat other human beings. Can I smoke in here? No. You seem to be very concerned about your team. Shit. Well, we all found out Blank's cheating on his wife the other night. 5403 posted all the juicy details. Like I said, nothing's sacred. We don't need to know all his personal shit, you know, especially not written by a hyperactive. I'm asking about you, Doctor. How this is affecting you. I know you care about your team, but... Like I said, Simon, how do you think? I'm at the epicenter of all this bullshit. I'm just keeping my head down, okay? You've been the head of Chi 11 for over a month now. You're well within your right to transfer out or take a break from the project if it's troubling you. The thing is, I don't want to. Everyone here is... They've been in the field at some point, seen shit. Not that I haven't, but I'm just straight out of MIT. Holed up in Site 15 in my cushy little cubicle, you know? Well, that isn't necessarily. So I can put up with this stupid website taking pictures of me and ignoring what I have with Dr. Yoda, so I can pretend I hook up with every man I work with. So it can pretend I hook up with every man I work with. I can live with it because it's even worse for the people who've actually been through the shit 5403 thinks it's funny, or sexy, or cute, or whatever. If I'm not around to understand how this thing operates and to give it someone to obsess over, then they'll have to get someone else to do it. Chair scraped audibly in Dr. Lorasky sighs. And Simon, this sucks. I'm not putting anyone else through it. Dr. Lorasky has stated the intent to remain at her leadership position indefinitely. Psychological evaluation should continue as planned. The following post was uploaded shortly after the evaluation concluded. Ugh, that ugly bitch Laraski fucking ruined my OTP. Identified by Dr. Laraski as an image of herself lying in bed at her residence. Notably, the image has been crudely defaced with red pixelated markings. I hate her so much. She's such a stupid whore. All she does is get in the way to my ships. I hope she gets trapped in her stupid office when an SCP breaches containment and she dies. Or at least the Foundation figures out that she's a slut who keeps getting in the way of my precious babies falling in love, and gets rid of her forever. Please just kill her off already. Jesus Christ, dude. What the fuck? Addendum 54034 on October 26, 2009. Redacted. The hosting service for SCP-543 was shut down permanently by its parent company. Archives of 543 do not retain its anomalous properties and no new posts have been made. Public archives of 543 have been removed under the cover story of copyright infringement. 5403 reclassified as neutralized. Shield 11 has been disbanded. 543's research team lead, Dr. Rolaski, has recused herself from continued observation of pages flagged by 543's former dedicated web crawler. She has been granted an extended leave of absence. I have 1 unread messages. From Alpha 03 Tycho Demon at Foundation.scip. To Laraski, alerts, web crawler flag. The following is an automated message for Dr. A. Laraski. Do not reply to this message. Alert, site archive site archive of our own.org flagged for high SCP-543 keyword density. Please review attached captures for evidence of anomalous activity. Broken by Foundation. My Foundation. SCP Foundation. Graphic depictions of violence and major character death. Background, blank. Anais Laraski. SCP blank. Darkfic. Hurt, no comfort, angst, betrayal, heavy angst, hate fic, omegaverse, dead dove, do not eat, blood and gore, womp, mindfuck, torture, mindbreak, abuse, psychological trauma, medical torture, predator prey, non-consensual violence, graphic description, mental instability, NTR, lemon, Guro, Riona. Anais Laraski gets what she deserves. Oh. Oh, did it kill her? Did it get her? What the fuck? Okay. Alright. What a curveball that was. What a curveball that was. Okay. Let's read 4999. What? Taboo. What the hell? 4999. Someone to watch over us. Fascinating. Item 4999. Level 3 confidential. Containment class Keter. Special containment procedures. Due to SCP-4999's unwillingness to or inability to appear before more than one person at a time, in addition to the subsequent and immediate death of any who witness it firsthand, 4999 is effectively self-containing. Any reports of 4999 manifestations captured by security camera feeds, photographs, or similar are to be investigated, and the media confiscated for analysis. All second-hand witnesses among the civilian populace are to be amnesticized. 4999, circa 1973, photo taken by professional photographer Gustav Berger 3 minutes before his death. Interesting. Description. SCP-4999 is a humanoid entity of unknown origins and composition. Its physical appearance varies with dark formal wear, being the only constant between manifestations. Due to the rarity of recorded 4999 manifestation events and the highly specific circumstances in which they occur, little data concerning its nature or intent is available. However, its behavior is consistent across all recorded sightings. 4999 will manifest only in the presence of one solitary human person at a time. All subjects recorded to date have been in terminally poor health, critically injured, or on their deathbeds, with SCP-4999 appearing nearby and within sight of the individual, not more than 20 minutes before their expiration. 4999 will only appear if the subject is conscious and alone. It will not appear if the subject is comatose, asleep, or unconscious, nor will it appear if they are being cared for by, in the company of, or otherwise being directly observed by another person. Upon manifestation, the entity will seat itself directly adjacent to the subject's bed, if such furniture is available. If not, it will remain standing, or sit on the floor, ground, in whatever configuration will allow it direct physical access to the subject without causing disturbance. Is this like an SCP that comforts you as you die? That's cool. Once situated, it will remove a pack of cigarettes from its left inside jacket pocket and offer one to the subject. If the subject accepts, 4999 will place it between their lips, remove one for itself, and light both. If the subject declines, 4999 will light and smoke the cigarette instead. The entity will make physical contact with the subject, typically via holding their hand, placing its hand atop theirs, or resting its hand on their shoulder. It will then remain with the subject, silent and unmoving, until they have passed away. Matt, I love you. 4999 has not been seen to engage in any other activity or behavior, and demanifests immediately upon the subject's death. The subject's cigarette, however, will remain, providing the only physical evidence of 4999's presence. No subject thus far has been seen to recoil from or otherwise resist the entity, nor have any attempted to engage in conversation, despite multiple instances of subjects acknowledging the entity's presence via eye contact, adjusting posture to reciprocate or facilitate the entity's touch, breaking into tears when noticing its presence, or verbally thanking the entity when offered a cigarette. Individuals affected by it share a number of common attributes. Research into identified subjects has indicated that 4999 is more than likely to appear if an individual lives alone, is non-religious, is impoverished or homeless, displays a history of mental illness, is a military veteran, has no criminal record, or has never been convicted of a violent crime, has no currently surviving family, is unmarried or otherwise lacks a significant other, has little to no social standing in their community, does not exhibit any record of significant professional or personal accomplishments, has few to no mutually beneficial interpersonal relationships, or exhibits qualities in life history that have rendered the individual nondescript, anonymous, neglected, or otherwise unremarkable or insignificant by the standards of their respective society. No testing involving SCP-4999 has been authorized or attempted, due to available data indicating that observation of a subject precludes its manifestation, as well as ethical concerns. It was initially discovered as the result of its emerging status as an urban legend, with footage of the entity appearing on hospital security cameras worldwide being disseminated via the internet and various television programs. A minor disinformation program was put into effect to maintain this public image, and SCP-4999 was officially registered on November 27, 1998. In the years following the classification, additional research and cross-referencing with accounts of similar phenomena have suggested that while concrete evidence of 4999 appearances has become more commonplace, due to the advent of photography and video recording technology in the modern era, writings and artistic depictions of a figure exhibiting similar properties, behavior, and physical resemblance to it exist throughout world history, culture, and mythology, with some accounts being thousands of years old, in some cases predating human civilization. It is not currently understood how pre-modern cultures would have been capable of detecting 4999's presence. Investigation is ongoing. Wow. That is a very nice one. That is a very, very peaceful one. Thank you, Reaper. Sorry for replying to a message. Okay. Let's I don't know if anyone's still in the stream, honestly. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, Reaper's still there. 4494 for a hero type thing. Okay. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna get off here because it's late. My voice is already starting to go out. 4494. The Spectre fights for justice. Okay. SCP-4494. The following file is affected by a Class 1 info hazard. The normal presentation of this document has been altered through anomalous means. This is considered normal and is not cause for alarm. Oh, I see. Item number SCP-4494. Anomaly class Archon. Archon class anomalies are anomalies that should not be contained due to the damage that would be caused by doing so. Interesting. Special containment procedures. Direct witnesses to SCP-4494 related activity are to be amnesticized as necessary. No actions are to be taken against 4494 by Foundation personnel at this time. Description. 4494 is the physical embodiment of the concept of fighting crime. 4494 typically manifests at night during law enforcement actions in which the relevant criminal element has an advantage in order to render aid. It appears as a humanoid male of indeterminate age, wearing a wide-brimmed hat and long coat, and calls itself the Spectre. Once it has successfully aided the relevant party, it will demanifest, though it has been known to hold brief conversations with people present beforehand. The content of the conversations has typically been noted as jarring or surprising. 4494 also possesses a number of minor physical anomalies. It absorbs a significant portion of light across the visible spectrum, causing it to appear almost entirely black, and is able to alter the length of its cloak at will, an ability it seemingly only uses for dramatic flourish. Additionally, it possesses minor info-hazardous properties. When referred to in text, the reference will always appear in a stylistic and dramatic font, and speakers invariably use the dramatic whisper when referring to SCP-4494 verbally. Okay, now I'm going to do that from now on. Should SCP-4494 be prevented from successfully aiding the group that triggered its manifestation, the entire concept of attempting to prevent illegal activity begins to break down. This occurs in an ever-expanding area around SCP-4494, the size of which increases at a rate of approximately 100 kilometers per hour. People within this area no longer conceptualize the belief that crime is something which should be stopped, leading to the immediate cessation of all civilian, local, and governmental law enforcement activity by affected people. To date, the only method of reversing this effect is to allow 4494 to successfully aid law enforcement in preventing a crime in progress. Thus, it is believed that should the effect of impeding 4494 become global, it would become irreversible. It should be noted that while SCP-4494 appears to consider the Foundation a law enforcement organization, law enforcement is not the mandate of the Foundation, and as such, Foundation personnel in the field are rarely significantly impacted by this effect. SCP-4494. Failure timeline. Failure timeline. Oh, shit. The following table contains observed results of 4494. Failure within a single city. Oh, shit, okay. 2 seconds. Law enforcement activities cease. Oh, no, minutes. 2 minutes. 5 minutes. Local police forces all functionally disband, unable to comprehend the nature of their job. 10 minutes. Violent incidents and traffic accidents skyrocket as the local populace no longer possess any conception of consequences for illegal activity. 30 minutes. Criminal elements become exceedingly active. No one in the city can conceive of the idea that they should be stopped. An hour and 20 minutes. Full-scale looting begins. 2 hours. Local media begins musing on the events, unable to conceptualize what has changed that has led to the current situation. SCP-4494. Failure has not been allowed to continue beyond this point to date. Addendum. The following is a transcript of a typical SCP-4494 encounter by Foundation personnel. To date, 7 such encounters have occurred outside of the initial attempts at containment. Event transcript notes. Mobile Task Force Sigma-12, Mary's Little Lambs, was engaged in a raid on a facility believed to be manufacturing and distributing an anomalous narcotic known as warp. They were pinned down when the occupants of the facility unexpectedly began using anomalous weaponry. Team consists of 5 members. Transcript begins. Shit! Varez is down! Take cover! A beam of white energy silently dematerializes a section of the crate Holtz is hiding behind. Where the fuck did they get those things? We're meant to be dealing with low-level drug runners here. Who cares? Just take them out. Allard peeks around the vehicle being used for cover and fires a number of shots. Audio recorders pick up a cry of pain suggesting a hit. 2 white beams of energy strike the area, dematerializing Allard and the vehicle. Allard is down. We need to fault. A white beam of energy hits Cranston, dematerializing her. A thick fog begins to coalesce on the ground and begins quickly filling the facility. Wait, no, I read that wrong. Fuck! Samper, we need to retreat. We're 3 men down. We're 3 down and they've deployed some kind of gas weapon. SCP-4494. Criminals! Evildoers! Samper's helmet camera catches a flash of movement as something appears to drop from the ceiling rafters to the ground with a thud. Denizens of the night, your time has come, for now you face... The sound of impacts followed by muffled cries of pain can be heard in the distance. The Spectre. What the fuck is that? Take it out! Take it! A gurgled cry is heard. What the hell is this now? Who's this Spectre guy? Wait, what the fuck? Shit, we got a secondary anomaly on the scene. Wait, I think I've been briefed on this thing. It's... Fear not, agents of justice, aid is at hand. The fog rapidly dissipates. A black figure can be seen in the distance, engaging 3 hostiles in hand-to-hand combat. Whatever, seems like it's on our side. Let's get the job done. A brief firefight ensues. The surviving members of MTF Sigma-12 able to successfully use the distraction caused by SCP-4494 to re-engage the hostiles. Repeated sounds of impacts followed by cries of pain along with a number of gunshots from mundane firearms are detected from the direction of 4494. 4494. After approximately 40 seconds, all hostiles are neutralized. Justice is served. The streets will no longer be plagued by these devils and their foul poisons. Hey, we're gonna need you to come. Samper grabs Holt by the arm and curtly shakes his head. Thank you. We couldn't have done this without you. Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. Someone's got to help deal with these guys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A brief silence. So, when you aren't here, you know, doing your thing, what do you do? Oh, you know, watch TV, browse the internet, sometimes play video games. Video games? Are you like the embodiment of justice or something? Yeah. And as the embodiment of justice, let me tell you, that new Spider-Man game, fucking good stuff. You played it? No, we really don't have much time for video games. That's a shame. Justice loves video games. You hear? I see. Well, thanks for your help, I guess. SCP-4494 coughs. Ugh. Worry not, wherever darkness crawls, wherever injustice seeks to prevail, those who serve good will always have an ally in the Spectre. SCP-4494 spins, its coat billowing dramatically and obscuring the cameras of both Holtz and Samper. When the vigil returns, SCP-4494 is gone. That is a good one to end on. That is by far one of the funniest fucking things. That last one is pretty fucking funny. This one? Holy shit. That new Spider-Man game is fucking good stuff. This was made in 2021. This is talking about the fucking the newest Spider-Man game fucking on the PlayStation 4. Oh my god, that is so hilarious. Oh. Oh man, well, this is a pretty good night of reading SCP. Light on the cosmic horror today. More heavy on the comedic shit. That's so fucking funny. Thank you, Reaper, for bringing that to my attention. Oh man, the Spectre. Okay, well, we're gonna end the stream there, guys. We're gonna end the stream there. Thank you guys for coming in, hanging out, and watching. Sorry for the short stream. It's only an hour and 40 minutes, but my voice is starting to go out. I can feel it. So we'll have another stream Wednesday. We'll be playing probably. I'm gonna actually probably finish Max Payne 3 because I want to finish it. I love that game. But yeah, I'll catch you guys. Next week. Catch you guys Wednesday. So have a wonderful rest of your Sunday night. Have a good Monday and Tuesday, and I'll see you Wednesday. Bye bye. Bye, Reaper.